So people have this question: which of these is a better investment, building a house or buying a land? Hello smart investors, welcome to Real Estate Made Easy, your number one YouTube channel where we educate you, we inform you, we enlighten you about real estate investment by giving you pro tips, guides, advice and warnings so that you can understand what you need to know, do the right thing and get the right result for your real estate investment. If you are coming across this channel for the first time and you are yet to subscribe, can you do so right away and turn on the notification bell so you do not miss our subsequent video? And of course, you can do it by going through our previous playlist for you to understand one thing or the other to better improve your real estate investment knowledge. So today, like I've said, we have been answering a question that is, which is a better investment, building a house or buying a land? So make sure you stay tuned for the answer to this important question. Let me start by giving you a pro tip that when it comes to investment, number one priority you must consider is the return on investment. So there is no it's not a one-way thing. Okay, yes, buy a land or build a house. If your purpose is for investment, then you need to do the maths. Like I've earlier explained in one of our previous episodes, the difference between an investor and a possessor. A possessor is somebody who owns a property and wants to claim ownership. You either want to buy the property for he or she to stay live in, and call, yes, this is my house. I'm tired of my landlord, I'm tired of my neighbors that are lousy, that are noisy, and what have you. I need a roof on my head. I want to be my own landlord or my own landlady. Such a person could be said to be a possessor. He or she needs the property just to call his or her own. It's not looking to make any return on investment. It's not looking for any profit. But wants to have a roof over his or her head. The priority is have a roof over my head. That's an example of a possessor. Now, for an investor, that's a different mindset entirely. This person is looking for an opportunity to make a residual income, a passive income that is realistic and that is consistent. So you can see that these two people are not the same. So now you are now asking which is a better investment option, buying a land or building a house. So like I said, first and foremost, you need to do the maths and understand the maths. Let me now give you a simple example. Even a case study, let's say, assuming you have a 50 million naira budget to build a house or to acquire a land. Don't be surprised. Yes, 50 million naira can buy a plot of land. And 50 million naira can build a house. Both depending on the location and the title and the choice of the land and the choice of the building you want to build. But let's assume that yes, your budget is 50 million naira and you are an investor. What you are after, the priority is to have a return on investment that is realistic, that is guaranteed, and that is secured. Now with that 50 million naira, now let us now look at a case study of a place like a Lekki corridor, particularly along the Lekki-Epe axis versus the Ogombo axis in this same Lagos. For a building, you can get an offline project of a 3-bedroom duplex at least for 50 million naira in a place like Ogombo. For a land as well, you can still get a plot of land for a place for at least 50 million naira in a place like Ogombo. But which one will give you better return on investment? If you are going for a building, you know that yes, if it's an offline project, it means that you are not buying anything, you are not buying cement, you are not buying block, you are not even supervising anybody. Your 50 million naira given to the developer who knows his or her onions and who is reputable and is accountable, knows that he delivers or she delivers. Such a company knows that yes, if they are sending an offline project for 50 million naira and they're giving you the time frame, let's say it's going to be delivered in 12 months, 9 months, in 10 months, depending on the agreed duration. And all you need to do is to pay the 50 million naira. Then in 12 months time, the key to the house will be handed over to you. That's option 1 with 50 million naira. The option 2 is this: you are buying a land, a full plot of land, let's say 500 square meter for 50 million naira. Now that property has a good title, let's say a government consent. With what is happening in a place like that Ogombo, still taking Ogombo now as a case study for that price. With what is happening, and from experience, even within 2 to 3 years, property appreciation rate in that environment is about 45 to 50% on the barest minimum for a 12 calendar period. If that property is strategic enough, that is directly facing the Ogombo road axis. Ogombo is at Abraham Adesanya roundabout. So just before you pass the Abraham Adesanya, you see a road leading to what you call Ogombo. That's where we have Abraham Adesanya estate, we have the health center, and so on and so forth in that corridor. There are so many estates springing up on a daily basis in that corridor. So that is like an hot zone because it's a place that you can buy, build, and live. So if you have a virgin land there, the appreciation rate, the demand for that property is high. So it implies that that property keeps appreciating. Now that if your goal is now you bought the property for 50 million in land, now you have a choice. On that same land, you can divide it into two. Have 250 square meter, 250 square meter. In the next 2 to 3 years, by the time you decide to sell the other half plot on it, be rest assured that you can sell that half for more than the amount you have used to buy the full plot in the next 3 years. That return alone can fetch you more than enough for you to be able to build any structure of your choice on that other half. You can still build a conveniently 3-bedroom duplex. Very convenient, very comfortable. Now that you have used the part of the money to build, you now have to also think, you are still an investor, what can I still do? Okay, this is not as if you want to live into it. You still want to make more money, even from the building you have. So you have an option either to build an apartment where you can live for short lets, or you build a duplex where you can also live for short let, or even give it out for rental. This implies that every year your tenants will be giving you rent, and in that environment, at least you can be rest assured of getting between 1 to 1.5 million naira as renter for your property in that region. Either you're having a 3-bedroom apartment, or you are having a standard 3-bedroom duplex. For a standard 3-bedroom duplex, you can even get up to 2 million naira. But for a block of flat, 3-bedroom flat, at least you can get between 1 million naira to 1.2 million naira per annum. So that alone is consistent. If you also not in Nigeria and you decide to even give it out for a short let apartment is an apartment that people use and pay as they use. It's not a full rental apartment that, okay, I'm spending 1 year, I'm spending 2 months, and no. For as long every day they pay for that property, as long as they occupy it, that is short let. So you can see that by the time you do our math, that the value you get for if you buy a land in a location like that seems to be higher than you just buying an off-land project in that same location. Because if you buy an off-land project and it's delivered to you in the next 12 months, what you still be getting is the rental income, the same thing you can get even if you buy your land and decide to build your own. So this is where you need to have the right advisor, and you need to be open with your budget when it comes to property investment. This is my budget. This is what I'm looking at. What is your goal? Because this goal person who wants to keep enjoying return on investment, it's not the same thing as somebody who wants to buy and live. So that is the difference. So in the next 5 to 6 years, you will now realize that your ROI, that is your return on investment on the property you have acquired, has increased significantly such that even you can easily take away your capital and still begin to enjoy consistent perpetual return on investment for as long as you live, and even after you can still hand over to your next of kin and to your family. That is one of the secrets of real estate investment. Now, if you were to be a house you built, definitely that house can still serve the purpose of giving you a rental income or even for a short let. But the two for that same project in that same location will not give you the same return on investment. That's for that location in Ogombo axis. Now with your 50 million naira again, let us now move down to Ibeju-Lekki corridor. Let's talk about from the Lekki-Epe Express Road down to Ibeju-Lekki along Epe axis. If first and foremost, all of this property you want to acquire, if it's a land, must be the least you have is a governor consent or a COFO. Worst case scenario, have a land that has an approved excision. Please, you don't have to stress yourself going for and this property is having excision in view. Those are long stuff that you may not even end up having that property being excised. So if you want to buy a property that has a genuine title, either a KSET, either an approved excision, a COFO, a governor consent. It's very, very important because that is your root of title must be well established, because you cannot build something or nothing and expect it to stand. You must have seen people you must have seen government demolishing people's property, and you must have heard people say many things about government. Government is this, government is bad, government is this and that. But do you ask them, this property that you have, did you have the right title to that property? Did you have the building permit to even erect whatever it is you have erected before government came over to demolish? So it must be fair in our assertion. Now let's move forward. Along the Lekki Ekpe Express Road, like we have said in the Bejileki now, with your 50 million naira, if you are buying a land there in an estate that has a COFO or a governor consent, you can still get about 2 plots for that same amount of money for a property selling for 25 million naira per plot. There's at least one along the Eleko axis just before you at the Eleko junction, as if you are going to Amen Estate and the Lekki Filters and what have you. For example, a property they're selling for 25 million naira per plot. It means that with your 50 million naira, you can get a full plot that are 2 of it. That is 2 pieces of a full plot. That is, in other words, you're having 2 plots of land for 50 million naira. Guarantee. That property is the COFO, strategic location, and directly facing the Lekki Ekpe Express Road. That's an option 1. You can also decide that yes, from this 50 million naira, what I want to do is I'm not even buying plot of land, I'm building. So you can decide, because in that location now, you can decide to buy 1 plot of land and start your construction with the remaining 25 million naira. With the 25 million naira, you can do something that is still very, very okay for you to have a rental income. You can build a standard block of flats with 25 million naira in that location. Now, so by the time you build your block of flats, for instance, for 25 million naira, don't forget that as you are building, the property is appreciating. As it's appreciating, people are even ready to buy from you. So you can even sell it out as a form of off plan. So people, your buyers will be the one to even pay you money to even do the construction for them, or to complete the construction process. That's what we call off plan projects. So because by the time you have 25 million naira as capital to start your construction project, even though the overall you may end up paying more than 25 million naira, but with 25 million naira you can start something tangible. You already have a goal, but in the next 9 months, 12 months, you want to complete this project. It's an off-plan project. And what's an off-plan project even to start with? An off-plan project is a property you buy from initial stage before it is completed. So people buy it at that initial stage, and then you build for them, and then you sell, because it's usually cheaper, and of course it gives you edge against inflation and the valuation of naira. So by the time you do that, once you deliver that project, you are making your gain immediately. You are making your gain as soon as possible, because you are delivering the project in 12 months time. Somebody is ready begging you to buy the same property for 60 million naira, begging you to buy the same property for 65 million naira that you have erected. And how much does it cost you? Probably at most you spend 35, that is an extra 10 million naira to your own 55 million naira project you've had. So when you do that and give it out, you continue to enjoy, because it's from your gain, you return on investment, you can still acquire another property that is not up to 25 million naira. That's an option again. At the same time, you can then move further with your 25 million naira, 50 million naira budget. You can buy acres of land in a place like Ekpe, for instance. Now imagine a place that's selling for buy 6 get 1 free, a plot selling for 2.5 million naira total package. So you can imagine how many acres of land you have with your 50 million naira in a gated secured estate. with genuine title. So in the next few years, the difference in all of this is that location and demand are not the same. Please take note. You cannot compare the demand for a place like Lekki, Epe, Assis, that is Lekki, Ogombo, Sagote Edu, Abijo GRA. You cannot compare with Eleko going to Epe and so on and so forth. The demand is not the same. So it means that if you have a higher risk appetite and you have the patience of time, you will acquire more by buying property in such locations that you wait for some time for it to appreciate, then you make massive gain. So it's a simple summary. You can see that you have the option of to decide whether to build a house or to buy land if it's for investment purpose. But I can tell you for a fact from experience that there is more gain in buying a land in a strategic location than even building. Because building, you can decide to change whatever it is you want to build. Building tastes may change any day in time, but the value of land does not depreciate, it keeps appreciating. A particular building design may say, no, I'm no longer interested in this building design, or you must have seen people buying a property with an art structure and then they are breaking it down to build their own structure. But why? Because the land remains the land. The land is still intact and the value keeps going up. So, but you must understand the return on investment is also not the same. So if you are looking for a quick return on investment, then building for short let, building for rental may give you quicker return on investment than waiting to sell a property and that is just a bare land, because selling land is a longer time than giving your house for rent for short let in a place that is of high demand. People imagine a place like Ireland now, for instance, and you have a building, you have a block of land, you say you want to let it out. Before you know, the people are begging you to rent it. It's a fact. So the two are not the same. One can give you quicker return on investment. One can give you slower return on investment, but huge return on investment. Just if you are buying a land, you can get more than 5,000 return on investment in a couple of years. You can get guarantee 50% in the matter of months. So, but the most important thing is whether you are buying a land, you are buying a house, know why you are buying it. Understand your risk appetite. Because if your goal is to make quick return on investment, you want to do property flipping, then you cannot afford to go to a place that is here to come to fruition, a place that is of high demand. You have to wait a longer time. That's what you call land banking. You have to really have patience of time. But if your goal is to make a quick return on investment, you have to look for a place that is of high demand. People are already building, people are already living, people are looking for opportunities to even buy there, live there, or rent there. Then your return on investment will be higher. You can easily make your money, even though the gain might not be much, but you can be sure of making your gain quicker. So I hope you'll be able to learn how to maneuver your way in that way. If you are gained from this video, please kindly subscribe. And when you are well-winning right up, come out. They are coming with the next time. You remain blessed.